Mabuhay, Kamustika, well, how are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea. This is an unannounced live stream. I thought I would just do one today. I don't have any particular comment. Thank you to people already here today. I have a second seat here. That means that eventually I will be having a very special guest come and join me. And it's Monday night, the 19th of August, and would like to talk about whatever is on your mind. That's why I don't have any particular topic or particular comments to make. So appreciate the thumbs up already, and then hopefully when my guest arrives, they will be able to answer some questions. Very important guest. As far as what's been going on lately, I think one thing that kind of surprised me when I was looking at the analytics of this channel, Love Beyond the Sea, is that the video that had the most view minutes of the last 28 days was an older video of mine. It was called Hip Hip Panay, How I Found My Wife on Christian Filipina. It's only about 6 or so minutes long. It's definitely not a new video, but I mean, it's like always in the top 5, and it was in the top spot for most view minutes here of the last 28 days. And as a couple of days ago, it was my #1 video for just total views in the last 2 days. So that just proves to me that I appreciate the thumbs up. That just proves to me that topic of a man looking for a Western man looking for a Filipino wife appeals to people. I don't have a big channel. I want to do the best as I can and get as many people to watch and be helped over time. Pretty no nonsense channel. I just want to share my experiences from all the years I figured I was preparing to be married but wasn't married yet, to marry my wife 4 years ago, and she's been here in America for probably well over 3.5 years. Is that possible? January, I have a video out here. You can see just when my mom met my wife, and that was January 11th of 2016. So she's been here since then and fully integrated into American society. But I was glad to see that because my thought was that there was always going to be interest in a foreigner and a Filipina, and that certainly makes me feel like that is the case, and I should keep trying to help any way I can, a man and a Filipino wife. Michael and Heidi, thank you very much. Your comment, I guess American men are just really fed up with the feminism in the USA, so they're searching. Keep up the good work, Bob, and I appreciate that, Michael. I mean, you yourself know exactly what I mean about the value of finding a Filipino wife. Myself, it just appeared the well had run dry here, and it's not just me. It's many people in many countries, that would say, I don't know, where did all the quality women go? And there's lots of channels out there wanting to help steer men in that direction and show them the value of marrying a Filipina. I've just thrown my hat in the ring. We do not live in the Philippines yet, although we do hope to retire to the Philippines as soon as I am able to retire. And that's something to keep me going. I think about it now about every day, because I know that if it's 4 years or so, that's going to be a very quick amount of time. And then my life changes dramatically. My wife, her life changed dramatically when she got here. And she probably had, those 8 months or so to anticipate what that would be like. And I've still got about 4 years to anticipate what retiring in the Philippines will be like. I mean, I've been there 3 times myself. We're going to go again later. And by that time, I will know exactly what to expect. And so that gives me a little bit of preparation. Having a Filipino wife is always a great asset when you are in the Philippines. Filipinos from the Philippines are invaluable, good heart, sweet and feminine. Absolutely, Michael. That's been the word for decades. That's what I heard growing up, and then I didn't give it much thought. And now I have a wife finally, a Filipino wife, and I I admit, I always wanted a Filipino wife. I just never thought it was realistic. I mean, I wasn't watching YouTube channels where people went out and we're in the Philippines and talking about Filipino wives. I didn't start getting into that till actually after I got back from marrying my wife, and then I just noticed a lot more of others. Rike's Life Beyond the Sea for one, and then the other heavyweights that were around at the same time, and I think they still are. And there's others. Some are more entertainment, some are more informational, some are both informational and educational. But nevertheless, Love Beyond the Sea is to help foreigners and Filipinas. I do have a special guest coming up here. So one thing I was just talking about, people are still interested in a Filipino wife. And, there's some talk that the immigration requirements, the rules for what the American has to earn are going to change. That is to say, go up and be higher. And I'm still doing my own, personal look into that from the sources I have. And but we could talk about, what's it going to be like, if and when these changes come down the line, and makes it more difficult for, well, yeah, it probably will make it more difficult for somebody if the wage income requirements goes up dramatically. Um, when you get married to a Filipina, there's tons of paperwork, I think, and eventually you're going to come across the part that talks about uh, income requirements. But it's been 4 years, and I don't even remember where exactly you see that on the paperwork. I mean, is it a page where it says, just hits you right between the eyes? Here's what you have to know. Here's what you have to make. Do you get, how far into the petition, the paperwork did I get before I knew that? Was that known right at the outset? So I didn't spend money on fees and then find out I didn't make enough. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I did hire an agent to handle it so that each step of the way we would be ready for the next phase. And it kind of did go in phases. We started with initial paperwork, and then we move on to, I don't know, it's kind of just hurry up and wait in several stages. And then, okay, then it got approved, and then we have to send additional information and so on. So if anybody wants to talk about that, possible immigration changes and what it's going to be like if it becomes more difficult. Michael and Heidi, poor Rike, such a good guy, broke up with his Vietnamese girlfriend. I saw that. Yeah, it won't last unless God is involved, like gritting your teeth 24/7 all through life. And, I've benefited from Rike's videos. And this is my special guest, by the way. Isa's here. And Michael and Heidi have joined us. Hopefully, J Bud 5000 comes through. I didn't announce this at all, but certainly, my wife can answer some questions here. And well, you're right. I mean, I married my wife very quickly. We're still married. I didn't, I didn't have any major. I didn't have any book on how to go about finding my wife in the Philippines. I just started talking to her one day. after I winked at her online, and it was at work. Saw her picture, winked at her. She got in touch with me, I think, and I said, "Well, I got to go back up to work. Can I talk to you later at lunch?" Well, I probably wasn't really aware of the time, so but that would have made it like 1 or 2 in the morning. And she said, "Well, I'm not feeling well, but I'll see if I can manage to stay up." I said, "No, don't worry about it. We'll get together and I'll contact you." And we did Skype, like, I don't know, day 5. Um, and we got engaged, we got married. What was the formula? Well, we just try to get along. And I had an idea of what I was looking for. And she obviously had an idea of what she was looking for. And when I thought maybe I had found somebody I could marry, I asked her, and but not before we had communicated for like 4 hours a day. So on one hand, Michael, I can say, well, it wasn't that difficult, but it is difficult for some people. I mean, look, as much as I wanted to get married, it just wasn't going to happen here in this country.
Hi.
Did you spell your name right, hon?
Yeah, it's it's right.
Miss Isa. I haven't
Miss
heard
Isa.
that for a while, but that is true. So we got married in 54 days, and that doesn't mean I have any better system. I certainly wouldn't recommend that for everybody. Some people do, some people don't. But we talked about this a little bit in this live stream. How long should it take for an interested foreigner to visit his Filipina? And maybe my wife has some thoughts on that. Um, I kind of feel like, why, if you've been communicating for a year, that's ample time to have gone down and met your Filipina, because that's a whole year. That's 365 days. By that time, if you're just really looking seriously to be married, I would think that would be plenty of time.
But you have to prepare first.
You mean prepare for the logistics of travel?
Yeah.
Well, that all happens probably pretty quickly once you identify somebody that, you know, I think I'm going to go visit this woman and see how it goes. There's always the
I think it's depend on how intense you are.
how intense you are with your
Yeah.
search. Well, I
What
guess
level are you? Something like that.
my thoughts on
Maybe.
are, what if I'm the only guy you've talked to for a year? Just pretty much you and me for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Would you start thinking to yourself, or would your friends start asking you, well, when is this American going to come see you? Is he talking to you yet about visiting to you? Don't you think that would be enough time? A whole year?
Mm, well, in every situation, I mean, there no, it's there are things that you have to consider. First is the money, of course, and then the money, and then your job. You have to take care of those and take a time off. So I think a year would be long enough, but just like what I said, it's depending on the situation and how intense you are and how eager you are. What level are you in your search?
I was certainly eager. I was also fortunate that it was only March when I contacted ISA. I think it was March 17th. So at that time, I probably hadn't used any vacation, and my first trip there was my longest trip. Nice blister here from work now. And so I spent a month, but I had vacation. I had to get the vacation approved. Hi, Al. Very nice to have you here. Al, honey, Al has a Filipino wife.
Hello.
Michael and
Hello.
Michael and Heidi.
Welcome to Bob's channel.
Welcome to Bob's channel. Maybe that's what I should have called it. But
Yeah.
Michael was in the Philippines just a few live streams ago, and Michael, you got married. Is that correct? I can't always keep the name straight. But I know you've been back. I know that Big Rob's been, I think, has a Filipina girlfriend, Rodney. I think Filipina fiance, and 1 year, yeah, 6 months. You know, and I've done videos on this too. If a person is kind of juggling, 5 or 6 Filipinas at once, then it's just going to take longer to see any of them. And I think in my personal favorite or position is to just focus on one Filipina. I'm sure my wife would agree with that. Focusing on one Filipina gives you the best chance to get married the soonest, because if you focus on one Filipina, you're going to find out sooner or later whether if that woman is worth pursuing all the way to the Philippines and then all the way to the altar, because I mean, you'll get more serious faster, and it may take after 2 or 3 months. You might find out, well, things aren't going well. This woman isn't on time. She misses some Skype chats, and then you start to develop a bad feeling, and you move on to someone else. But if that woman, like my wife, is on time, she was the only one that was on time, and it didn't take long before I just focused on her. But she was always on time. I just knew it. I knew every morning we were
No,
going to talk.
it was meant to be, hon.
It was meant to be a match made in heaven. Isa was there every morning when I got up, and I knew when I was making breakfast, I would be talking to her in the meanwhile. And remember, hon, then go back and stir the eggs or whatever, and go back and sit down, and then I would have breakfast with her while she had dinner in the Philippines. And then I knew that during the day I'd have time for, depending on the time, to message her. And then before I went to bed, she would be up, and I knew we were going to spend some time in the evening. So, for those 18 days that we took to get engaged, and afterwards, I was focusing on her. And I mean, who was going to be better for me than her? There was no need to contact another woman. And if things weren't looking good, then I would have told her. I wouldn't have just dropped all communication. And I think they call that ghosting nowadays in relationship, where you just become a ghost. I got ghosted. I don't know what happened to her. No, we were there, and everything just quickly elevated to a more serious stage. And finally, I was at the point where I told myself, you know what? You can ask this woman to marry you, because what else do you need to know? Well, you could say in 18 days you didn't know a whole lot. And I did not know a whole lot. But at that time, my strategy wasn't to know everything about this remarkable woman. It was to know the most important things, which was I was looking for a Christian. And I figured after that, everything else kind of take care of itself. In other words, that was my foundation. Everything else I would just find out, and whatever it was, I would just have to accept it. And you can say, well, that takes a lot of trust. And it does take a lot of trust for me, but people don't realize the Filipina is in a very similar position of having to trust. My wife had to trust me because she didn't know any more about me than what she asked me.
That's why I have to talk to your mom.
Well, there you go. What she wanted to do was she wanted to talk to my mother, which she did. And I still remember that.
And Pastor Scott.
Pastor Scott, she wanted to talk to my pastor. We did that some Saturday morning, I think. It was like 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Morning.
Early for him to get here. My mom was probably sometime in the evening. My mom had really never used Skype or social media before.
Yeah, I can't remember what day. Is it evening or day?
That was maybe in the afternoon or evening.
Afternoon.
So, Michael, glad you're here. Al, thank you for being here. Now, J Bud 5000, and this is a guy you got to be really careful of, this J Bud 5000, because he asks some really poignant, salient questions. He likes Tagum girls, but more devout girls to choose from.
Yeah, I was born and grew up in Tagum for a little while, and then moved to Davao.
So Isa knows about both of those places.
Yeah, a little bit, because I still have relatives there.
And if I have my way, hon, I'd like to see um, where you were born. Now, how far is Tagum from Davao? If we were to get
Mm.
in a car and just keep driving,
Are you talking about how many hours?
how many hours if we get
Uh,
it, rent a car, and somebody knows how to get there?
I would say 2 hours.
2 hours we can
Yeah.
do. Now, when Isa got here back in January of 2016, 1 hour by bus if they drive really
Oh,
fast. Is that what it is now?
we're not. We don't live in the city. We live for
We
at least almost an hour in Davao
an hour
City.
from the city,
Yeah,
and hon, Davao.
45 or
Davao
45
is the
minutes. 45 minutes to an hour.
there's a lot of city. I mean, there's a lot of Davao. It's like the largest
Yeah.
land area in the whole world for a city, the biggest, widest, longest city. So it depends where you live.
Yeah, it depends where you live.
And so I would like to do that. When Isa got here in 2016, I wanted to show her, well, hon, here's where we grew up. Here's how I went to elementary
Oh, I can.
school, junior high,
Oh,
you
I can.
know.
I don't know if I still remember those days.
Well, you'll have,
I think I moved when I was very young.
well, I hope you have some memories of, did you go to elementary school there?
Mm, no, I don't think so.
Well,
Dif-
I,
Different one, but once in a while we go visit my relatives there.
when was the last time you've been there
My
to go?
relatives. What?
When was the
When was
last
the
time,
last
hon?
time? When was the last time? Hmm. 2000. I think 2015.
You were there only 4 years ago?
Yeah, I think 2015.
2015. By the way, for anybody joining in now or watching this later, you do not need to adjust your screen, your monitor settings because you're not seeing things. I am here with a very special guest here who shares the house and works very hard and is not working tonight. So she's here, and we've got Al and Michael and Jay Bud here. So 2 hours would be worth it. Bisaya girls make the best wives. Is that a question?
Is that a question
What do you think?
or
Are you a Bisaya girl? I don't even know what that
yes, I
is for
am.
sure.
I speak Bisaya.
Okay. What about Tagalog? I thought you were.
I speak as well.
Okay.
I do.
So I would just say don't limit
Not
that.
this time. I'm not imaginary this time.
No, I know people have been saying, when is Isaac going to be here?
Oh,
When is
because
Isaac?
because I'm not really into this.
She,
I'm kind of very shy of being in front of the camera and talking to you guys.
well, there's only 5 people, and I appreciate the 3 thumbs up. There's only 5 people here right now. Maybe more if I had announced, hey everyone, my wife is going to be here tonight, but I didn't announce it. It's just one of those things. I didn't have a topic necessarily. I figure anyone wants to ask questions about from Isa, she certainly can answer from a perspective that I can't have. So
Pantukan.
Pantukan is where they are from.
Um, his wife? What?
Well, who is from Pantukan? Bisaya girls?
Probably his wife.
What's Pantukan? J Bud isn't married. Is where they're from. We're talking about Bisaya girls. Is Pantukan an island, a city, or what?
No, it's a place there in Davao.
Oh, a place in Davao. There's lots of pretty girls and excellent wives all over the Philippines. One of the things that we've talked about occasionally, and it comes up is it better to marry or look for a Filipina in the province or in the non-province, maybe a bigger area of Manila or Cebu or Davao.
It's depend on their
What are you,
preference.
what are you trying to do here, sweetie? Are you trying to adjust?
Nothing.
Do I need to adjust something?
Nothing.
Okay, I can.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay, Logan Fox. Mabuhay. Welcome. How are you? This is Bob from Love Beyond the Sea, but I'm joined by my lovely wife, Isa. And thanks for being here, Logan. Um, Hun, your opinion on this, because I don't know. My opinion would probably be, and it's okay to disagree with me, by the way.
What?
My opinion would be, I would rather not marry someone from the province. Now that don't be mad at me, huh? I know you probably feel like, hey, that's not fair to province Filipinas, but I mean the ones that have been able to be educated and some don't have that opportunity because of where they live.
Okay, what is really your preference? The one in the city or the one in the province? Do you want? I mean, what's your preference?
Well, I'd like to know. I'm sure people would like to know what your opinion is. If they're targeting a Filipina to marry, do they say eliminate everyone from the province, or do they say no? First, start looking in the province. And I appreciate the thumbs up. I mean, some people feel like the province girls are the only ones you should look at. Others say no way. They're too not used to being.
This is coming from my own perspective.
We want to hear that.
Of course, I go for a province women than a city women, because they're not prone on any kind of sinful things. What to say?
Well, do you think their province Filipinas then are more conservative?
Yeah, much more conservative.
More conservative, liberal. Now, I'm not going to argue. Not going to argue with my wife because.
But it doesn't mean that they're not educated. Hey, I came from a province of Davao, so not all province women are uneducated.
That's good
to. It's depend on where they are.
Depends on where they are.
But hey, don't you? I don't agree with that.
I changed my.
Because if you love that person, whether you have to accept that person total package, doesn't mean that that person is uneducated or whatever. You have to accept that. I mean, that person will learn the language and everything in life. And it doesn't mean that you can't degrade that, belittle those people. Doesn't mean that these people are from province, they are uneducated. No, it's not. And we have to, we're not in our position to judge them.
I would listen carefully to what Isa says because she is the brains here of this marriage. And Tim Tom Red Pill, hey, good to see you here, Tim Tom.
There's a question. Best cities to have a wedding in the Philippines.
Okay.
There's a lot of. It's depend on. Okay, I would say Tagaytay.
Tagaytay.
If you're in Luzon area.
Luzon.
Yeah, Tagaytay. If you're in maybe Cebu and Visayas, and in Mindanao, I'd say Bukidnon.
Bukidnon. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It's perfect there.
Are we going to hear from Tom and Ruth tonight? That's where Tom's at, correct? And
Davao as well, of course. That's my city.
Well, I have a soft spot in my heart for Davao too.
I prefer Bukidnon.
Bukidnon. Mm-hmm. I would certainly like to meet Tom over there.
The views there, the scenery, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's breathtaking.
It'll take about 4 hours to get there, I think, there. Logan Fox, Mabuhay from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, soon to be coming to California.
Oh, Tim Tom, Red Pill.
Taking a boat to Columba, next to Laguna.
Manila versus Cebu versus Davao.
Where are we now?
There's there.
Oh, okay. I'm still up here. Hey, hon, is Laguna, is that Calamba next to Laguna? Is that the Philippines?
Yeah,
It
it's
is?
not too far from Tagaytay.
Okay. So Logan Fox is going to be coming soon to California and then taking a
Yeah,
boat to
actually not too far
Calamba.
from, not really far from, well, from Ate Eloy's house. I would say
Cavite? Cavite?
Cavite.
Is
I
it
would say like a
Cavite?
2 hour. I mean, is it an hour drive, an hour and a half drive? Is it far
From where?
from from that place, Ate Eloy's place to
Oh,
the
from where your
place?
sister lives. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of somewhat familiar with that. Province women, Michael, we have one vote here for province women.
So I'm not from Manila, so I don't really know they over there.
Calamba,
But I've been there
oh,
once. I've been there in Calamba, Laguna once.
Calumba.
Yeah.
I am probably butchering these things. Lots of province girls living in boarding houses and working in the cities. Uh,
Uh,
J. Bud does
well,
extensive
the guy
research
is
on that.
a Logan Fox. I am really excited. I found somebody really special that I want to start a life with. Well, congratulations. I'm happy for you.
Start a life with. And Logan, I'm happy for you too. And that's what you'll be doing. You'll feel like you're really starting life over and
Gibbs.
living the best.
Oh, all Gibbs said, my my lady and I are still separated, wasn't it?
Well, she's in the Philippines.
And then is he
Uh,
in the Is he in the Philippines now?
no,
Is he?
he's in the United States. And his lady, he says, will try to connect there shortly with him. I'm glad he was able to catch alive to hear your story and words of wisdom. Well, I appreciate the nice comments you've left here recently, Al, on one of the videos, and I just hope that throughout the years that I can help. Don't necessarily follow my method to marry Isa. I'm glad it worked out well. I don't believe in luck. I do believe in prayer, and I do believe in hard work and knowing what you're looking
There's a
for.
question there, huh?
Uh,
Does a province girl have a harder time adjusting to the US compared to the Tagalog Manila girl?
I was just up here. Logan said, "City girl from Angeles City broke his heart before." So
J
that's
Bud,
one negative there for City girls.
J Bud, does a province girl have a harder time adjusting to the US compared to Tagalog Manila girl? Oh, hmm.
In other words, whatever her experiences being practically only in the province compared to someone that had
I know, but
expensive time in the city, is it going to be a more difficult adjustment for her? Think back to January, February, March, April of
well,
you
there
know
because in the
2016.
Philippines and there are provinces that really out of nowhere. Like it's really
Mhm.
hard to get there, and places are places are so different. You know, and well, I'm from a province. From a province of Davao. I don't. I think the only thing that I had a hard time was the weather, and that's I'm still kinda adjusting to it right now because it's really hot in here. And for Bob, he said, no, it's hot. It's hotter in the Philippines, but for me, it's hotter here compared to the Philippines. Um, I think that's the only one thing that I could remember that I had a really. And I'm still adjusting it. The weather. Um, uh, Driving, going places to places. Uh, I didn't really struggle it because Bob was the one. He showed me around. Like we drove around. pretty much every day just for me to kind of, you know, get familiarize with the place and the rules, the traffic rules. And then, of course, I went to school for driving school. So I had kind of like um, organized myself into it. And uh, so I think it's depend to a person. I can't, everybody are, everybody's different in a different way. So I learned things here and so quick. I went to school. That really helped for driving school, and I have people around that showed me here and uh, language. The language Bob was really teaching me. Well, I know how to speak English, but there are there are phrases, there are some words that I don't understand, and Bob was really good of helping me. That we have kind of have a English tutorial
Well,
like every now and then when I was kind of new in this place.
I don't want her to speak perfect English. There's a lot of charm to me in the way she talks, and
So
I want to start talking like pronouncing things
yeah.
like chocolates and things like that. The way. Oh, I'm
so
getting
so
pinched.
I have my adjustment here. It's you know kind of okay. So I don't have really like had a hard time
Well, hun,
adjusting it.
you were fearless, though. I mean, you
Oh,
came
I guess.
here somehow with the attitude was, show me what I have to do next. I want to work, therefore I want to drive. Isa has never been. She's been, I mean, aware that there's dangers in driving and so on, but she wanted to learn how to drive. She wanted to learn how to do this, wanted to learn how to do that. She cuts the grass. She does she is the reason her adjustment has gone well because she
Yeah.
has wanted to. And hun, I want to get back here to Tim Tom Redpill said Manila versus Cebu
Mhm.
versus Davao.
Okay.
The big three.
I'll go for Cebu and Davao.
I'm not sure what Tim Tom is referring to with that question, but just in general,
Yeah,
I
I go for
mean,
Cebu and Davao. I've been in Cebu. It's beautiful there. It's a
really,
big city. It's beautiful.
it's a big city, but is it just as big as Manila, or is it not as
Mm,
big?
oh no, I didn't. I was just in the city, so I didn't really go around the whole Cebu. I was at the same in Davao City.
I wouldn't mind seeing Cebu sometime
And
on
there
just
is no
because
question that
I might run into
uh,
Franco Taglia there, and
did you
everybody
like
talks
it
about
there,
Cebu.
Logan Fox? Yeah, I do. I do like it here. When I was in Chicago, I was there twice already, and I can't wait to go home here. I can't wait to go home here in Nebraska. Um, Here in Nebraska, it's pretty quiet. It's a good place to live. It's a good place to raise kids, and it's the crime rate here. It's not that high compared to other states. So I really love living here in Nebraska.
Well, that's good to hear. And you're talking about adjustment. Well, it depends. You say, well,
No,
there's different type of province areas in the Philippines, but there's different types of cities here in America. Coming to Nebraska, this state is only populated at what, two plus something million. There's more in Davao City than the entire state of Nebraska. And so for her to drive, it's a lot easier because it's always, I mean, you always got to pay
not
attention when
in
you're
Omaha.
driving, but it's not as bad as in some places in the Philippines to drive. So that helped. This isn't congested like Los
Mm.
Angeles or
No,
New
no,
York or
no.
something like that. This is this is I guess being you can't help where you live, but this is a very
So,
nice place to bring a Filipina,
so in
the
general, also,
Midwest.
I'm not just here in United States. Um, the things that I really like here is the processing of your documents. It's really quick. I went to DMV. I renewed my driver's license first thing in the morning. I was the first one. Um, it was really quick. It took only 10 minutes and I'm done. It was like one, two, three, done. So I like that. I like that here as well. Like if you process your documents, it's done by quick. Um, uh, like the grocery things and stuff like that. If you go to grocery, you have that self service where you can choose if you go to a cashier, to a registry, or you do it yourself. So I like that. Um, the more traffic lights,
Yes, more organization. Thank you for the
more
thumbs up.
organized.
Appreciate it.
It's clean, of course. It's clean. The streets are clean, um, organized. Those are the things that I really have a highly appreciation here. And then it's pretty here actually. It's pretty here. But I can't leave her forever.
Well, I know. When we don't have to, we plan on retiring in the
It's pretty
Philippines.
expensive.
Well, the
Or
cost, yeah, huh,
cost
when you
cost
work,
of living here are very expensive.
you get a lot of taxes taken out of your
Taxes,
paycheck.
life insurance, what else? Car insurance,
House insurance for our
house
house.
insurance, car insurances, even your health insurance. So everything, it's all expensive. Property tax, it's all expensive.
We have high property taxes here in Nebraska. But I wanted, before we go back to the Philippines, I want Isa to experience as much as she can being here, that she can transfer back to life in the Philippines, whatever that would be. Working here, she's worked for what, 3.5 years. By the time we retire, it could be 7 years.
Do you find I'm back?
Well, I'm still up here, and I can help you.
Do you find Bob exotic? Bob said he likes your accent, making you kind of exotic. Am I? Am I exotic?
Well, look in the monitor there. I can look in the monitor. I have Isa photos. You can't see them, but I have Isa photos all over here, and I love her.
Do I find Bob exotic?
I'm not exotic. We know the answer to that, but no. I mean, I guess what he's saying is, I look at you and I see features that I don't see every day when I go to the grocery store, or work, or a ball game, and I know. When I never noticed Filipinas until I married Isa. Then one day I was at the post office and standing in line, and there was a Filipina, and right away I noticed she was short, had long black hair, thin. And I thought, well, that's a Filipina. You don't see Filipinas like that. You don't see beauty like that here. And I said, but you go to the Philippines, and you see her eyebrows, her eyes, lips, everything, long, beautiful black hair. I find that very appealing and different. Exotic, different. That's what we're talking about here. So when you see me, I know my nose can never be long enough, right? But you probably, what do you think when you think of American or your husband?
I don't find you exotic, and because there's a lot of foreigners in Davao, so I don't find it exotic.
See?
To be honest.
Yeah, it's not like she's not like I contact her and, oh, that's a foreigner, that's an American, that's a Westerner. So yeah, so no, I'm not. She doesn't find me exotic, but I do find her exotic.
Oh, there's a question there. I wanted to ask Isa, what is the biggest cultural shock or difference you experienced living in the U.S.?
Biggest culture shock or difference you
experienced? Oh, swears a lot.
Oh, the swearing?
Yeah.
I can see that.
And I was like, whoa, that's a big word. Yeah.
We have lots of bad words.
I don't really swear, so I tried not to. even back in the Philippines. So I'm not like that kind of person who always wear try to like hold on to myself. So
And
mm,
I appreciate that. But that's one thing you guys
and of course I'm not I'm not being a kind of like people eat a lot.
eat a lot.
Yeah, like big
Oh yeah,
plates.
oh yeah, big plates. People eat a lot here, big portions
Oh
here.
yeah,
And I remember what? I remember we were in the Philippines, huh? You know,
it's kind of for me. It's kind of like I was really shocked. Like hey, you could back in my mind. I was like you could always go back and grab
I'll
some more.
I'll go back for seconds
Yeah,
instead of making a mountain of
yeah.
food.
So I was kind of like shocked with that. You know.
Well, and you're probably shocked with how much I ate when I went to the
Mm.
Philippines, right? I mean, um, yeah, we do tend to overeat. We tend to load up our plates and stuff like that. Um,
And the shoes that you guys just from you're from outside and just go straight to your room
oh yeah.
wearing shoes, and I hated it.
Oh, I don't do it
Uh,
here. Isa makes me take my shoes
so
off.
I hated it. So I told Bob, hey, take off your shoes. That is so disrespectful. I clean the house and then there you are and wearing your shoes all over the place. So for me, that is disrespectful, being disrespectful. But he said, well, this is the way how it is here. So like, kinda, it's a cultural shock for me, you know.
And that's easy to get used
Well, he
to.
said it's the biggest. Well, he just asked the biggest, but I'm just telling him.
Yeah. Well, and the more you think about it, the more you'll come up with it. But you guys that are going to bring a Filipina to the United States, um, you cannot protect her from. My wife mentioned the swear words, the bad language.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to hear it if she gets a job. She's going to hear it.
I hear it.
You
I
can't
hear it all the
you
time.
can't insulate her from everything, and I knew that was going to happen. And to her credit, she doesn't seem to have picked up on people's bad habits, but I'm sure she's hearing words at work that she never heard before. And here in America, it
We
comes
have
out in
tried not
casual
to.
conversation, not just necessarily during road rage or something. People just use bad language more, and I'm glad you pointed that out because that reminded me that I was concerned about that.
Life here is so fast. Like go, 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 go.
It's go, go, go. And you know what, hon? I'm looking forward to slow, slow,
Oh,
slow.
there. Ha, ha, ha.
We got to go
Ha,
back up to
ha.
the top, sweetie. I don't want to lose people
I think
here.
it's already answered.
Well, I don't know. You're going so fast.
Keep up
I
the.
got to slow down.
Yeah, it's all. I love it.
Yeah, thanks,
The
Tim Tom Red Pill.
Thompson.
And I'm really thankful for you to
Michael
drop
and
in here.
Heidi. Michael and Heidi.
Michael and Heidi, good supporters here.
Yeah. They're gonna retire in Jensen. Well, Jensen is. It's a good place.
General Santos.
Yeah, I was there once.
Hmm.
I attended a conference. Yeah.
I remember that. Or
Yeah.
was that in the gymnasium? You sent me
Yeah.
pictures. That
Yeah.
was 4 years ago or something like that. And I do know two people from General Santos, right, hon? Manny Pacquiao, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And the other is Tim T. No, not Tim Tebow.
No.
He was born. No, he was born there, wasn't he?
Who? They were just talking.
Tebow.
Is he from Jensen? I am not really sure.
Wasn't he? Did you saw that? Yeah,
Well, they
I
were
thought
just.
Tim Tebow was from
Oh,
there though, because he was
uh,
born in the Philippines from Philippine.
but is it really in Jensen? Because Manny Pacquiao and him,
Pacquiao for
they were
sure.
just having a conversation.
Okay, well, if anybody knows, I was what city was Tim Tebow, football player, now
Yeah,
baseball player, was he born in? Because his parents were missionaries in the Philippines.
Jensen is a good place. It is a very good place. Um, what else?
No snowstorms in Davao.
Oh no.
Not yet.
No. What kind of? What? Is a storm or snow?
He
What?
says no snowstorms in
No,
Davao.
no, no snowstorms. Yeah, definitely.
And you know, Jay Bud, we had a lot of snow here in the Midwest. This is the worst
Like
Isaac got here in the winter,
in
dead
January.
of winter.
In January, it
Yeah.
was pretty cold. It was really, really cold.
You imagine how I'm feeling like your fingers
Yeah,
are going to fall off because they're so cold and the wind
you,
blows here.
yeah, you gotta run quick.
Well, and learn to stay out of that wind.
What's that? Yeah, shoes. I didn't know this when I went to my wife's house. They gave me sleepers, and I was like, "What are these for?"
Yeah.
That's funny.
American
That's funny.
idioms. We got, you know, it's tough enough for a Filipino to pick up some of the language, but they might know some words, but we have a lot of expressions, you know,
I gotta.
idioms, a lot of expressions that
Oh,
they probably wonder what we're talking about.
oh, yeah.
You know,
And
well,
since I've been working for um three and for almost 3.5 years, so I kind of pick up some some of those words.
yeah,
Mm.
you have. So where are we here?
I remember we got so much snow here and Harrisburg. The 1 year it made half of the Harvey Taylor Bridge collapse. When was that?
Harrisburg, Pittsburgh.
I mean, when?
The 1 year it made half of the Harvey Taylor Ridge Cups. Ooh, brother. How long ago was that, Logan? I know in 1982, 1981, I was in Minnesota. I think the storm came through and I think it blasted Detroit or it was on its way there later, but they shut down everything. The courthouse, the buses, everything shut down. And I was going to radio school there, 1981 in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, actually. And I was the only one in the landlady's house. Everybody else just took off. I slept with a parka in bed, and it was cold, and snow can do that here. Like it really, really bad.
Well, he said the snow is really bad here on the East Coast. I'm wondering though how my girl is going to handle it when she comes here to see my family. Just
Any
bundle up.
advice? Any advice, hon? Just bundle up.
Just bundle up, from head to toe.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
worry about how much Isa puts on so many clothes. You know, I think if I pushed her, she would
Yeah, I
tip
was
over
wearing
and then bounce
layers, a
back
lot of
up.
layers. I was wearing sweatshirt and then a jacket and then another jacket and then a snow coat and then two socks and then a gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have to cover, and then a bonnet and then I have to cover my mouth.
Mm-hmm. I have a face mask.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always bundled up when it's snowy, but it's winter here.
She looks like the Michelin tire woman. She's got all those layers of clothes on. I actually probably prefer the winter myself over the summer.
Mine is spring and fall.
See,
That's
hon,
my favorite.
and you know, Logan, that's what you can help kind of prepare your Filipino for the long term is that the spring and the fall kind of, to me, make up for the winter because the spring and the fall is so beautiful and it feels so good to transition into the spring and into the fall and out of the winter and out of the summer. To me, that makes it all worthwhile. These changes, at least here in the Midwest, we
It's
get
so
those changes.
it's crazy. I came from a tropical country, very hot Philippines, and then I don't like summer here. It's really hot. I don't want to go out. It's really hot here.
I don't either, hon, but you know, maybe I need to get used to some of this before we go to the Philippines. But it'll be winter when we do, so it'll
No,
all go away anyway.
I don't like winter and summer here. I love spring and fall.
Well, And the bad thing also about the snow is driving around.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's very dangerous to drive.
yeah, it can be dangerous anyway, but boy, you get ice on the roads and all of that makes the driving even more difficult. Um, yeah, I know the
I'm
snow can be
hungry.
just terrible.
I'm
Oh, that's all
hungry.
right. That wasn't thunder you heard. That was Isa's stomach
I'm hungry. I
rumbling.
didn't. I didn't eat anything.
Did you want to run upstairs, hon, and bring something down?
It's okay. Let me finish
Okay.
this, and then I'm gonna go upstairs.
Jay Butt says lots of Panays here. Tagalog,
Be nice.
Panays. I
Be
know.
nice.
Sorry. Ware, a whole bunch of nurses. Lots of
Yeah, we
nurses
are
in the
because we
Philippines.
are known. If you say Filipino, oh, nurse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're nurse. So it's kind of like our last name.
I bet they make excellent work, nurses. Michael preparing his wife for the cold. And, I think I haven't heard of anybody. Well, maybe I've heard one person say, one Filipino say they just couldn't deal with it and left. But I think they probably didn't leave a husband. They were left. They were here on some kind of visa and they just didn't want to stay because the winter was just that bad. Yeah, go with layers. And well, I mean, if she's going to live there, you might as well break her in unless you think it would scare her off. Get the hard part out of the way. Logan, work hard, save up to get a decent place to live in the West. I'd like to go back to California before I can afford to back to Hawaii. I mean, those are some expensive places there, Logan.
Yeah, in
Um,
Hawaii.
what we hear about from here in the Midwest, I mean, is California. A lot of people are leaving California because of the how expensive it is.
Yeah, you have that friend of yours.
You might make more. Yeah, we knew a guy that was looking for a Filipino wife. He left California and moved to New Hampshire, so closer out where you are. He just said it's just getting too expensive. Michelin tire woman.
Oh yeah. Did you call me that name as
Well, that's
well?
because what you look like. There's
Yeah.
just some eyes poking out through and everything bundled up. I mean, talk about
Oh, you
don't
have
need
to.
airbags or
You
anything when
have
she's
to,
driving if she gets in an
cause
accident.
it's,
She's so
cause it's really cold.
yeah,
You
it
have,
is. And Isa's probably always prepared. What happens if she's driving in the winter and the car stalls? I like to put on as little clothes as possible, and just because I figure it won't take more than 20 minutes to get to work, and then I'll just be inside. But yeah, it's wise to be dressed up too. Uh, you'll shoot your eye, kid. Oh, it must be a reference to Ralphie's little brother all bundled up in the movie A Christmas Story. I just don't remember that right now. So yeah, Michael here you can see Hun has a wrench. I gave him a wrench, but he hasn't had to hit anybody over the head with it for a while. So balut challenge. Jay
oh,
Bud, I've
balut
been
challenge.
trying to get Isa to eat balut live here
I
on
don't
a
eat
live
balut.
stream.
I don't eat balut. I never.
Never
I
have. You
never
know,
had and never will.
there's a first time for everything. We could both do it live here.
Probably not me, and I already, you know, prob- hopefully when I was a kid, I was, I wish I tried it. I tried it, but I did not.
Probably if you had, it'd be no big deal.
Yeah, because my brother eats a lot.
Really? Well, then
Jason.
but John from Phil's the Phoenix did a video, and he was eating it, and then he was like drinking it, and it was like
Yeah,
it was
he
like
is
he
because
was a pro.
because there's some
It
yes, kind of I don't know,
kind of liquidy,
something.
yeah. You
So you say
slurp
that,
that down, right?
but I don't. I can't. I just can't stand. When you open the shell and then
Oh
there's
yeah,
a skin. I mean the feathers and
feathers.
oh gosh, and then the head. No, no way. I can't. I just can't.
I
I
don't think
can't.
I can do it.
Oh, I don't think I can do it.
I
As
couldn't do
well.
it.
Oh no, I can't.
I would have to be anesthetized or something where I can't feel anything,
Oh,
I
I have to
can't
close my
smell
eyes.
anything.
Isa, do you like durian? Of course I do. It's one of my favorites. You know, that's a big thing in Davao City. We're very known for that. So when you say Davao, well, that's a durian place, a durian city. So I like to eat durian.
Do I like durian, huh?
Do you?
What do you remember?
I don't think you did. You did try it. I don't think so.
I think you're right.
Because we had that and then you pick it up and it was the smell. You don't
Oh
like
yeah,
the smell.
there is a smell to it. Now
Yeah, the durian was kind of smelly
I remember a
food.
durian float we had at our romantic dinner and our honeymoon.
Oh,
Yeah, Michael and Heidi. He's
can you
giving
can
a thumbs up to Province
excuse me.
girls, but he's giving a thumbs
You
down.
can make a durian float
Durian
instead.
float was
Yeah,
good.
instead of mango. That's what we usually do. Some kind of different thing to do with the durian, so we could make it a durian float.
I would lose a lot of weight if I had to eat durian
Oh gosh,
fruit in the
that would be
Philippines.
a
I
best
just
thing
I just wouldn't do it.
to lose the weight.
Couldn't do it. Well, what I mean is it would make me not want to
Yeah,
eat
because
anything at all.
you don't like to eat anymore because of the smell.
Ugh, I'm just not used to it. But then I make burritos, which smell absolutely
Oh gosh.
heavenly,
Hey,
absolutely heavenly.
I don't eat burritos.
And
The
Isa
smell.
just doesn't like the smell of burritos. I mean, come on.
See the difference, son? Because you used to
No,
eat
one
burritos.
smells good and the other
Because you eat
smells bad.
because you used to eat burritos and then you've been eating it and then you used to you use like the smell you're kind of very um you have that odor in your in that with that burritos all the time. So um if I have a durian here, you probably don't like it because of the smell, because you're not used to it.
Could we buy durian in the Asian market?
Yeah,
Do they sell that?
they
Is that
do.
just as good or is it
Just a
different?
one piece, I think it's $22 or $25.
$22 for that big.
Just a one piece.
Is that the thing that's like a what do you call it? Pineapple, where it's kind of rough, or is it the one with prickly
Yeah, you've seen
outside?
it, hon. You've seen it
Yeah.
over there, a little Saigon.
Okay, yeah, little Saigon, they sell it. One thing for sure, though, there's a lot of good smelling foods that you marry a Filipina that she'll have and cook that
Hey, durian
smell
is
really good.
it's a good fruit, hon.
Probably, you mean healthy?
Yeah, it's healthy as well,
Okay,
but I think they said it's not good for a if you have a high blood pressure.
could be.
So you can't eat that.
Yeah, smelly feet fruit.
Yeah, it's expensive here.
Wow, must be like medicine. The worse it tastes, the better it is for you. You know, the worse the food smells, the better it is for you. I don't know, but wouldn't it be nice to have that? I'm kind of glad that Asian market is 60 miles away because otherwise I would be going there an awful lot, I'm sure.
Oh, you're talking about in Omaha?
Yeah, the Asian market
Yeah. It's
where you can buy anything you want.
oh, there's Little Saigon here.
Little Saigon is okay.
Yeah, they have, but they don't have really a lot of choices.
Not as many choices. So, if anybody has any questions of Isa, please ask now. And because we heard some thunder, but I just said it was her stomach
Because I'm hungry.
growling.
I like
J Bud,
I like asado shopao. Yeah,
Asado Shapo.
yeah, I like it too.
What is it?
Do you remember I gave you a white bun, and then I said there's a
Oh yeah,
inside.
yeah,
It's a steam bun.
yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I'm so picky. I've got 8 or 10 foods that I've lived on all my life, and anything outside
Especially
of
in
that
Chowking.
is hard.
They have a really good shopao asado.
It's kind of a sweet taste to the bread,
Mm,
kind of like a
no,
runza, but not like a
well,
runza.
because of the meat, because the meat has um, sweet flavor, so that makes the bun kind of sweeter.
Okay, something there smells sweet with it.
Yeah,
It's not bad. It's got potential.
I watched the Chowking commercials.
Is that big in the Philippines, huh?
Yeah,
Chowking.
it's like Jollibee. It's a fast food.
Oh, red
Mm.
ribbon Tango Supreme cake.
Ooh, oh la la.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
I guess
Really,
so. Ooh la la.
my brother used to work um over there in Red Ribbon. He used to work there. And then
I'll have to get some of that. The way
I
you
have
responded.
I have a I'm so hungry on.
Oh, sweetie, you can go get some food. Do you want to stay upstairs or you want to come down?
I'm gonna go upstairs. Oh, I'm sorry. Kinda I didn't eat the whole day, so kinda hungry. Kinda hungry now.
Well, sweetie, I won't
I
keep
was
you.
out this morning, so I was busy this morning, and um, then I have few things to taking care of, so I've done that, and then I came home. I was packing things to send it to the Philippines, and then I took a nap, so I didn't eat anything. So now I'm very hungry.
All right, sweetie. Jay Bud here before you leave said they're getting a Jollibee in Texas.
Mm.
Now, I bet it'll be the
Oh, I
biggest
miss
Jollibee in the United
Jollibee.
States
I
too, right?
miss
Everything's bigger
Jollibee.
in
I
Texas.
missed her. I missed her Chicken Joy.
There you go. Be real specific in your search, Jay Bud. A Chow King chef.
Oh, there's one in Texas?
Well, Jay Bud's in
Jollibee?
Texas, so they're
So
going to
there's.
get one. They don't have one now, I guess. But so, Han, in Chicago, I don't know about Los Angeles. Well, surely
Oh,
there's one in
surely.
California.
Oh, yeah, because, Jim.
Yeah, and you went to one in Chicago.
Yeah, went to in Chicago. It was
One is
pretty
coming.
good.
Oh, one in Houston already.
Hmm.
I don't know about that.
I think there's one also in New York.
Go ahead and get.
Those big cities, big states, say.
They like that Jollibee. Jollibee. I like the little pasta with the little wieners in the spaghetti. That I like. And Isa
Oh,
makes her pasta like that for me. Her spaghetti, I like that. San Antonio is getting one. Yeah, we're making Logan Fox hungry. Needs to go back and get seconds from dinner. Isa needs to
I
get her
really
very
have.
first.
I
Okay,
really have
sweetie,
to.
we better go. Just be. I don't know if you'll see this again, but you guys, this is one for the time capsule. But hopefully not. Hopefully, Isa will do this again and join us on Love Beyond the Sea. So I do appreciate all the questions you guys asked her, because this is the expert here.
Oh, not really.
I know what I've heard, but if you want to ask something very specific, this is the person to ask.
Yeah.
7 Filipino restaurants in Market. Yeah, go ahead, sweetie.
Sorry, guys, I have to go. I have to eat.
Go ahead.
I don't eat really anything today. Bye. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, hon. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome, hon.
Very much, I do. So Jollibee is making the rounds all over the United States. I don't know that you'll ever see one here in Nebraska. Um, we're so used to our fast food places, but um, the chicken is, if you like fried chicken, and they do have hamburgers in Jollibee. Um, yeah, thanks, Logan. You know, I know this. I could be dreaming here, and I might have dozed off after work and then had a dream that Isa joined me here on the live stream. But if I play this back later, and she's still on there, then I know I didn't fall asleep. So it takes a lot, or has taken, or must have taken quite a bit for Isa to be here on the live. She's just not. Um, just on the shy side. Thanks, Logan. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your being here tonight. Uh, Best live stream. Come on, Jay Bud. How do you know that until we go back and look at the film, like the coaches say? If this was the best live stream, I'll have to go back and look at the other live streams and grade them out and see which one grades the highest. But you're probably saying that's the best live stream, and I would have to agree with you. Anytime Isa is here, and that's good for her. It's good for you guys to be able to ask her questions. And if we do this again, Isa is very um, matter of fact in her answers. Um, because she's just gonna tell you how she feels. And we were talking about province girls, where I would say, well, hon, I personally would not. I would want somebody that's been to college and been working for a few years, and just to play it safe. But then again, my wife will say, well, that's not unfair to the province girls, because some of them may not have had the opportunities others have in the city, but that doesn't mean they would not make a good wife. And of course, I'm going to defer to what she says about these things, because she knows more than I do. So I appreciate everybody here making this, according to Jay Bud, my best live stream. I should say our best live stream, because couldn't have done it without Isa. But with her work schedule, she normally she would have been at work by now. So she needs to get something to eat. And she was working on some bollock buy-in box, getting that packed up to send back to the Philippines, and getting some rest. So I appreciate her doing this, and I appreciate you here. And I haven't said it yet, and I should probably not wait until 1 hour and 12 minutes into this. But I do hope people will subscribe to Love Beyond the Sea, and share this channel, this video, tell other people about it. We're here in the Midwest United States. We've been here for well, she's been here 3.5 years. We've married, little almost that long, because we got married so quickly. And we're doing well. And it's a big day for me to have Isa on here. And so it'll be a nice, relaxing sleep. And yeah, smash the thumbs up if you haven't already. I appreciate that. These are things I just don't think about, subscribing to this channel. It's a no frills channel, but what you see is what you get. I'm going to be honest with you. Isa will be honest with you. Thanks, Jay Bud. Thanks, Logan. I appreciate that. Just want to help men like you. And hopefully, as started out with, any income requirement changes will not be as severe, so severe that it makes it impossible for a man to bring a wonderful Filipina over to the United States. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Because it may be that a person may have to decide, what, if they do have really tough requirements, changes for fees, what do you call it, proof of income, proof of ability to provide, a person may have to go to the Philippines. And can they find a wife in the Philippines even if they go not knowing anybody first? They can. I would suggest not having, a very, very long list of must-haves. Have a short list of must-haves. But, if you're in the Philippines, I mean, I didn't do it that way. But if you're in the Philippines, you can probably find a good wife about anywhere. Um, it is a wonderful feeling to know that you have a chance. You have a chance. You have to, not allow yourself to get taken away by the beauty of a Filipina, and her accent, and her charm, and her sweetness, and all of that we that we love. And think about, what do you need in a Filipino wife? What's it going to take? And along those lines, I hope you can learn something from my videos, because we're going to talk about all kinds of things over the years, that just the nuts and bolts of getting along and so on. And that's what this channel is going to be about. In December, when we're in the Philippines for vacation, I hope to do a couple videos a day out there. I think I'll have a playlist called uh, Expat Trial Run in the Philippines. Will be in our house. You can see a playlist on our house in the Philippines, the house that Isa built. And we'll be living with some of her family, or they'll be living with us, more accurately, I guess. Will be one Phil Amelie is the word I've coined, Phil Amelie, and see how that goes. I do have a Facebook site where I probably could do some lives from the Philippines, or anywhere, but I cannot do it on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. And to use a mobile device, you need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Well, I don't, so I'll probably have to do some lives from on Facebook, Twitter. If you don't want to take the time to watch the videos, but you want to catch the different tweets, the main points, the highlights, the Cliff's notes, on Twitter, Love Beyond the Sea Twitter, I've got just the tweets, you can just scroll through those and grab some of those, and that's the way that's designed for people that are really, really on the run. I also put some love songs on there, some of my favorite love songs I send to Isa. If you guys don't consider yourselves very romantic, you can check that out. I try to have a little note to her that ties in with the videos. And, since both of us like music, that's something I do for her. And I look forward to doing. So thank you. I wish it was Friday, but it's only Monday, the 19th of August. And I appreciate everybody here. And I hope you all have a good week. And thank you for your contributions in the past, present, and future. And for Isa, this is Bob saying good night from Love Beyond the Sea.